right, let's start. Welcome to episode 59 of the Cigar Box Guitar Builder. I am Adam Harrison, and with me, it's becoming.
I am Mark Wilmot.
I was about to say it's becoming.
Sorry, I was supposed to wait for my introduction.
No, not at all. I was just saying it's becoming a bad habit.
That's right.
That's it. All right, I'm going to see if you're turned up here. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to say a big thank you to all those wonderful people who are following us on and have subscribed to the channel on Podbean and or on iTunes. A very big thank you to you. And another enormous thank you to those people who are pledging their hard-earned dollars to the show. Actually, we've actually got people who are openly saying, "Hey, I value the show, and here's a couple of bucks to put in the kitty." So, big thanks.
Well, that's lovely to hear.
It is. You know what? I'm just going to banter on for 2 seconds, and while I banter on for 2 seconds, I'm actually going to phone you back on the mobile phone because I think that was better. All right, thanks everybody. We've just gone onto the mobile phone and not using Messenger. And also, Mark, a big thank you for not sanding things today.
You told me not to? Because that might happen.
Oh, I had to listen back to it, and all you could hear was...
I won't sand it today.
Yeah, it was... I had this guy call me, he goes, "What's happening in the background there?" I said, "I think Mark was sanding something." He said, "He was sanding something for a long time."
Was. So you haven't said that I can't be on the blaze?
No, well, let's assume that we're not doing any woodworking while we're speaking. It's just for safety reasons too.
Well, I'll be good.
Okay. I'll believe that when I see it. Well, all right. Well, let's.
How are you?
Mate, I'm actually pretty good. Exhausted, very tired, and but in a very good way because I was just up in Queensland a couple of weeks ago to catch up with some family. I was only up there for a couple of days, otherwise I definitely would have dropped into your neck of the woods, up on the old Sunshine Coast.
Oh, you drove past me.
Yeah, I probably flew over you.
Oh, you went straight up there, right?
Yeah. It's it's an hour and a half, man. It's actually less time. It's less time to go from Sydney Airport to Maroochydore Airport than it is to actually catch the train from where I am here at Hazelbrook to the city. So it's just beggars. That's just unbelievable. It's so because in my day you used to fly and touch to catch 3 flights. No, it's not that bad.
Oh, you were lucky.
So no, look, everything's really good. I'm going through a little bit of a renaissance at the moment. A couple of things have happened which have made me kind of rethink, like product lines, things that I'm doing. I'm now looking at trying to get that Lightning Boy range that I do as actually a stock order, so people don't have to actually order them and wait, because it's just taking time.
You have a few doing at a time.
Yeah, so it's taking upwards of 4 weeks to build the guitars and everything, and ideally what I'd like to do is get the necks pre-done, have everything kind of preset. That way, if I don't have stock in the shop, at least I've got the necks already made, and I can just save a whole heap of time. It's that, but also there is a topic I wanted to talk about. Actually, I didn't send it to you, so I'm being a little bit not paranoid, but maybe I'm being a little bit harsh with the topic. But one of the reasons why I'm kind of rethinking the line is that I have a particular look about the guitars that I build, and I've built that look up over, I think, maybe the last 6 years of building cigar box guitars. It's evolved into a particular look. And what's happened is that every now and again I'll get people contacting me because of the website and because of the YouTube channel, and we're sharing ideas here and doing all of that stuff, which I love to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm not having a big whinge saying, oh, you're stealing all my ideas and all that stuff. I don't care about that. That's all cool. But I think while we're building, you tend to create kind of a particular look. Like when you look at your guitars, you can look at it and you just go, oh wow, that's a Mark special. That's just, I can see that. Or when I do. You can see that. You can see the particular work that you do, or you can see like Pat Proctor. Pat Proctor does the most beautiful guitars over in Western Australia. You can see what Pat does.
He does,
doesn't he? He's just magical. Yeah. But everything that you build, and even me in my own very rudimentary way, in my own very I don't know, austere looking way, I suppose. I think I made a word up. I've created a look. I've created a kind of a look, an image where people look at it. The idea is to think, oh, I can see that, and it looks like a Birdwood guitars. Or I'm trying to work on.
Well, that's what you want.
Yeah. It's I'm not saying that I'm going to be rivaling Fender or Gibson or anything like that, but.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about Gibson.
Yeah, but every now and again, like I'll get contacted by someone who'll say, oh look, I did this and da-da-da. And there was one gentleman who called me a few months ago. He contacted me and sent me some really beautiful pictures of, he bought a Lightning Boy guitar from me, and he got inspired, and it inspired him to start building his own. And I could see, he built 3 guitars, and I could see what he borrowed from the Lightning Boys, And I kind of went, that's great, but they don't look like my guitars. I could see what he'd done, but they don't look like my guitars, right? But there's someone out there, and I'm not going to use names, I'm not going to poo-poo and all this sort of stuff, but it's just gotten to a point where a few months ago I noticed, they're starting to do something that I do. Oh, that's interesting. And then all of a sudden I noticed a month or so after that, they're doing something else that I do on the same guitar. And now they're doing 3 things on the instrument that look exactly like what I built. And it's like, is it just a coincidence? Or is someone kind of going, I'm just going to take that, I'll take that. I don't know. It's peculiar. And
imitation is, was the highest form of flattery, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't imitate. Yeah, imitation, but you're not doing your own thing. And this is a relatively well-known builder. I'm going to say that. It's a relatively well-known builder who's been around for a very long time, and it's basically guitars that I've been building, and you could sit them there and go, wow. And you can see the progression over the last couple of months, or I've been able to see the progression over the last maybe 6 months or so, where they're starting to look really like my guitars. And I'm sitting there going, okay, what am I going to do? I figured I'll innovate. I'll change again. So I've been building cigar box guitars now that are slightly different from what I've done. They're still kind of similar ideas and things like that. But I don't know. How do you feel about that? To me, it felt a little bit like, oh wow, okay, really?
Yeah, look, I think it happens regularly.
It was at this point that we lost connection. So we'll carry on at the moment. Okay, so we're back, guys. Sorry, we are just having a wonderful time with my Apple computer at the moment. No thanks to Apple. I'm going to call Mark back in 2 seconds. Here we go. Let's see if we can get Mark back on the phone. And we'll have to try and figure this out somehow. But anyway, we're talking... Yeah, so try and figure this out. We're talking about borrowing ideas and where you get ideas from, and when it gets to a point where you're actually just copying somebody. And what's the difference between actually blatantly copying somebody and actually taking some ideas and then doing your own thing with it? You there, buddy?
Yes, I am.
All right. So we'll see how we go, mate.
Nice.
All right, so, so I was just saying that the idea, I suppose, was that when does it get to a point where, blatantly copying, so what's the difference between maybe blatantly copying somebody and copying and through, and then actually taking ideas and actually doing something, and borrowing ideas? What do you think about the topic?
Well, I have no issue with the general borrowing of ideas. I think that's how we move forward in everything we do.
Mm.
We've got to take a little bit of an idea from someone, but what makes us different is by taking that idea and making it our own somehow. But that being said, look, this may just be a coincidence. It may just be really close. It's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
But it is possible. I've noticed my builds, people pinch stuff from my builds all the time, and that's fine. I did the same thing when I started building, but I didn't do it for long, and I certainly didn't pick someone specific out and go through their stuff with a fine-tooth comb so I would have it the same.
Yeah.
Not to say it doesn't happen, it does. I think headstocks are a big issue there. I've noticed a couple of people who have made guitars very similar to mine.
Yeah. It's funny, because
I've never focused.
You're right. You go.
I said I've never really focused on a specific builder. I just enjoy the way everyone does things.
Well, I think when I first,
and I do. To be honest, Adam, I've pinched a few ideas from you too.
Well, but your guitars don't look anything like mine. They're far better.
No, well, I wouldn't go that far, but they're certainly different. But I have taken certain, like I've got a few builds on the moment that are actually spoken for. But I actually like the way you recess your what are they called, the washers for the tuners?
Well, the machine. Well, actually, I'll tell you straight away. That was an idea that I borrowed from a gentleman named Malinowski. Malinowski Guitars in the US, and I'm very open about sharing where I get particular ideas from. Malinowski, one of the reasons he does that is because you can actually stand on one of my guitar necks, right, and it won't break. The headstock will stay because it's that 2x1 inch, and it is so super strong. It's not funny. Like you can bounce up and down on those necks, and they just will not break. They're as tough as anything. And that's basically where I got that idea.
Okay, because I think the first time I saw it was actually Tom Bills from the Luthier's Edge, I believe his website is, and he does that because you don't crack your finish when you tighten up the nut.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But it's just a really great way of doing things. I mean, that's one of the things that this particular builder has gone and used, and if it was just that. That would be perfectly fine, because I looked at that and I thought, well, I borrowed that. But I also borrow ideas from like Daddy Mojo. Like obviously, I borrow ideas. Shane Spiel was one person. Like when I first started out, like Shane's videos and Glenn Watt's videos when I first started building guitars, mate. I would look at those and go, oh wow, I like how he's done that, and I might try that. But ultimately, it would ultimately be just me sitting there with some timber, thinking, what am I going to do? And you just went and did it. It wasn't a case of just copying, blatantly going, oh, I'll grab that, and I could very easily turn around and say, right, well, I'm in Australia, Daddy Mojo's in Canada, I'm going to make my guitars exactly the same as Daddy Mojo. I could do that, but I don't want to do that. I want to be, I want to be different, do something different. Yeah. But it's like I said, this isn't a big. The idea wasn't to have a big bitch session about other builders. It's certainly not that, because as I said, like I love the idea of people looking at the guitars that I build and thinking, right, I can do something like that. I can take that and do something else with it. And I think that's probably one of the coolest things about actually being a guitar builder or a cigar box guitar builder or whatever, is to actually, as you said, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and it's a wonderful thing when somebody does that. But all I can say is that, for people who are listening, if you're going to do something like that, make sure you make it your own. Do your own thing with it and create something special.
Give credit.
Yeah, or give credit. That's all fine as well. In fact, that's what I was saying. The new guitars that I'm building now, I'm doing a range called the traditional range, and the idea basically was that there's a lot of people out there who can't. I want to be blunt. They when they're on the internet, buying off the internet or buying off wherever, or even when they walk into the shop, they don't have $220 or $250 to spend on a cigar box guitar. They don't have that. So I wanted to do a guitar for about $150 that people could come in, they could grab a great guitar, you could plug into an amplifier. So I've done the old stick on top of the box trip, and it's just, they've worked beautifully with a little piezo pickup under there. And you've got no idea, man, how much fun I've been having. I found all these old fence posts. And I've just been building necks out of old fence posts, and they've got nail holes in them, and it's just so cool. It's just so totally not, where I was going, which was trying to build basically, super fashionable instruments, where these are the complete opposite of that. They're wonderful.
Oh, they're quite simple too, which is really good.
Oh, I love it. It's, well, just like me, mate,
not that type of simple, though.
Now that's basically what's happened in my world. So I mean that's pretty much me. But what's happening with you? I've noticed that you've been doing some cool things out of MRWS, Cigar Box Guitar Emporium.
Yes. It's me. I've been really getting into making my own knobs. I think we've actually discussed this before, but this time around I'm getting a little bit more complex with the timber arrangements before I get it on a lathe. And I can tell you right now, I've nearly lost the plot a few times. I don't know if you've noticed, I did a checkerboard style one recently.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
Well, it's become a little bit more intense now. I've checked it every 4 to 5 mil on the vertical as well. So the next one's going to be even more difficult. But what I'm trying to do is get together kits, so people can, like, I'm doing a video at the moment on how to make knobs just using a hand drill.
Yeah.
And of course the shameless plug, but trying to get my those brass inserts that I use to be sold. And so I'm going to make kits. So I'm going to try and sell Australian timbers with a few bits of the brass in there, and then people can make their own knobs, because I think that's another big thing.
That's a fantastic
plastic
idea.
And metal is great, but I think timber looks fantastic.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah. I remember doing one. I remember doing some with dowel. I did it with. I had some dowel, and I had a ball with it, just kind of like shaping it, and and it was it was very rudimentary. It was nothing like the beautiful shaping that you're doing on the lathe. It was just basically just cut it down, square it off, trim the edges, and drill a hole and hammer it onto the knot, and it was just like it worked. It was really cool. It was good fun. But then I just went, that's just taken me like 40 minutes. and I do sit there, like when I do, because I build to sell, and because I build and I'm going to use the horrible word building for profit. Because I build for profit, not just the artistic factor of it. I've got to look at everything that I do and think, is that cost effective? And that's why I'm looking at what you're doing there, and I'm thinking, Mark's going to have to sell those for $20 a pop. What are you doing? What are you going to do?
$20 a pop, you wish.
I said put 3 sets aside for me. I might have to take that back.
Yeah, some of the knobs are $20 a pop.
Yeah.
Not those ones.
Yeah, I kind of had a feel. Yeah, it's that they are just that work that must go into that. It's a labour of love, obviously, mate.
Yeah, they're actually sold. They got sold the day I posted it.
Yeah. Can I have a guess who bought them?
You can, but you won't be right.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. No, because I was thinking like Pat might have. Then that clicked in my head with if Pat does that. Like it'd be someone who doesn't.
He'd be able to make his own anyway.
Not Nigel.
No one you know, and it's actually for a standard guitar, not a cigar box guitar.
Really? Oh, lovely. That's just, they are so nice, man. I swear to God, they are so nice. It's everyone get there and check out Mark's. Have you got them on the site or anything like that, or any information on the site about it?
No. I don't know if I'll be selling them via the site, because I tend to make them as I do, as I need them.
Yeah.
But I got a whole bunch of orders like within hours of posting that, so I'm pretty lucky that way.
That's a cracker. They are really, really nice. If you haven't had a chance, guys, go and check out Mark's Instagram. What's your Instagram going by? MRWS still, or Cigar Box Emporium?
No, this is a different one. I do this one via Devil's Hands Workshop.
Oh, okay. You're getting confusing.
I am. And so am I.
Is it your cryptic way of keeping everybody like just on the edge?
No, one is basic, just my everyday doings, timber work in general, not guitars.
Yeah.
Or maybe the solid body guitars, my gardening, all that sort of stuff. And the other one is cigar boxes. Yeah.
Sweet. Can't go wrong. Yeah. All right. Well, that's anything else happening? What's happening with those machine heads, mate?
Oh, sometimes a boat takes a long time to get from China to Australia.
Next topic. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, this week we've got our guitar of the week, Well, actually, first things first, I digress a little bit. Guys, I really apologise for we're still trying to make this a weekly program. Things have kind of gotten up, but we will endeavour to try and keep this being a weekly program, I do promise. We've got a wonderful build by Rob Ellis from our group, the Cigar Box Guitar Builder group. Rob Ellis actually posted this on the 17th of August, and it's Dragons. It's a Dragons. Looks like a solid body. What do you reckon?
It does look like a big chunk of something. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. It looks like a bit of softwood, to be honest, but I could be wrong. Maybe it looks fantastic. I'm assuming it's called a dragon because it's been... What's that Japanese...
Well, the burning.
Art of burning?
Yeah. Kabuki or something like that. Sounds like that, you know. I don't know.
Sugi show?
Well, they burn it with...
Yeah.
Ben Crimson, what was it? Crimson Guitars. He did it with gunpowder. He put it under.
Really?
Yeah, he put a whole heap of gunpowder on top of a. I can't remember what he was burning. It might have been a tabletop he was burning. He was burning something, but he put all this.
Susugiban.
Who? Ichiban.
Susugiban.
Ichiban.
No, Shusugiban.
Shusugiban.
Japanese wood burning.
Yeah, well, I've butchered that 3 times. I'm not even going to try and say that. Burning stuff. So.
Yeah, burning stuff and making it look good like every Japanese person does.
Yeah.
They just tend to be good at everything.
Yeah, it's like. This is gorgeous, man. But yeah, the using the gunpowder was like crazy. He set it up, and it went bang, and like it was burnt through, and like had all these pit marks and everything from the gun. It was very cool. Anyway, this is really cool. This is so looks like they burnt it. He's burnt it with a blowtorch or something, and brought out the tannins. Is that what comes out, the tannins, when it goes all stripy?
I guess so. It's just the sap lines, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. It just brings out the softer timber between the ears, I guess.
But he's done a gorgeous job on that. And it made me think there are actually a few builders out there who are doing solid body, like cigar box guitar inspired builds. Now, there's a couple of people I reckon everybody should go and check out for us. There's yourself, of course.
Yep.
You're doing some absolutely beautiful stuff with with some gorgeous Aussie timbers. Every now and again, I'll go and do something. I'll do an old dog bowl resonator.
A noiser.
Oh yeah. There's a lot happening on the electric guitar side of the business as well. So, we're doing a lot actually with because I like reusing. Well, you know me, I'm a big fan of the old Japanese guitars from the 60s, and 85% to 90% of those guitars were all built using plywood, industrial ply, for the bodies. And I've always been a fan of it because to me it's resonant, it's strong, it's easy to use, and the best thing about it is I basically get it off old building sites, so it's all stuff that was going to get thrown out anyway. So for me, it's also a case of trying to stop timber going into landfill. I'm not using old growth timber, that I know of, and it's fun to work with. I actually quite like it because it's really irregular. It's a bit like me. I love irregular things. It's different, and people play them in the shop and they go, "What's this made from?" And I tell them it's plywood, and they go, "What?" And they wouldn't have had a clue. They wouldn't have had a clue what they're made from. Anyway, I digress. So there's 2 that I reckon people should jump out there and go and check out for solid body cigar box guitar inspired instruments. The first one is a fella, I think he's in England. It's Junksville Guitars. He's based in the UK.
He's amazing. I love those guitars.
Thank you. Amazing builds. Like 3 and 4 string instruments. I think he does 6 strings too, doesn't he?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I mean, I see them come and go on Facebook, so...
Yeah, he's a real rockabilly rebel, too. Like, he's a really interesting bloke, you know. He's always... His videos are very well produced. So you can actually find him on... I think you can find him on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. Not Instagram. Although I haven't tried. Let me double check that. But you can definitely find him on YouTube. And the other one, who was probably my favourite, and I really love this guy, whoever this guy is that does them, it's Swamp Witch Guitars. And have you seen them?
I haven't.
Oh, he does the best videos. They're really artistic. They're out of this world. Theme guitars, basically very similar in shape, I will say, to Rob's, but different in their own way. I think they're relatively hollow, but he basically builds them out of he builds it all out of old timber. The necks are the 90. I think they're all fretless instruments. And he uses, a range of different pickups and stuff like this, but they are brilliant. Go and check them out, man. It's called Swamp Witch Guitars, and he does awesome videos through, and the videos only go for like a minute and a half. They're like, this is what I do, this is what I have, this is it, go and check it out. And it's they're really fun. They're really, really, really cool fun. So they're the two solid body builders that, if apart from myself and Mark, if you want to go and check out what they're doing, and if you know any more guys, get in contact with us or put a little post up on the group. Remember, everybody, that group is there for you. If you're on the Facebook group, that's your group. You can put your builds there, and we're getting some fantastic feedback, lots and lots of people joining, which is awesome. I think we're approaching 500. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, which is really good. And I must admit, I'm not heavily promoting it. It's people who are coming and finding us and hearing about us, and just having a blast. So that's that. I'm being attacked by cats now. I'm down, Sailor. Thank you.
Okay.
Where are we here?
Let's talk about this Rob Ellis's one again.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
looking at
please.
this nut, and I'm trying to figure out if it's going through is it an antler?
Oh, an antler. Where are we here?
Is the nut? I think he's using an antler.
An antler?
Yeah, from a deer.
Yeah. He's got a three-string bridge. I don't think I can see it on my pictures.
Okay. And
there's +3.
Where the neck pocket is.
Oh, okay. Yes. Is that
some rope?
Might be rope. Interesting detail. But that looks like a dragon eye.
Like it.
Look at next
to
to
the... Yeah, I can see the dragon eye on the side.
Yeah. So, guys...
And an R-E.
Yeah.
For Rob Ellis.
Rob Ellis, 17th of August. He posted that on our group, the Cigar Box Guitar Builder group.
Yep.
Go and check it out. And he's got it looks like a dragon print on the back of the guitar. A blue dragon print there, which looks really great. Guitar strap looks really nice with it as well. But the headstock's really interesting too. It looks like wings, like dragon wings.
Yeah. And it says Powell Peralta on the back, so I'm assuming he at least used to skate.
Dragons for Powell Peralta, unless that's the customer.
No, Powell Peralta's a skateboard company, mate. Come on, mate. Where were you in the 80s, 90s?
Well, that's not a deck then, is it? That's not a skateboard deck, is it?
No, that's a Powell Peralta sign. It's on the back.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. All right.
It's the dragon.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, man. I
don't know about that. I didn't have a name brand skateboard. I was too poor. we used to put lumps of 4x2 on the ground and roll on tennis balls. So
yeah, skate or die, mate. Skate or die.
Skate or die. Yeah, skate. I used to skate and die. I don't know. The best thing we ever did. We used to tighten up the trucks on the skateboard so that they wouldn't move. And I used to go up the top of in Caloundra, where I grew up. There was at Moffat Beach. There's Moffat Beach headlands, and it's not super long, but it's long enough. And the descent's like 33 degrees. It's like mental. It's mentally steep, and we used to skateboard down that. And it was just how we weren't killed by oncoming traffic or whatever. I have no idea. It was just like absolutely insane. So that's probably the craziest thing that we ever used to do. Oh, we also used to do the BMX bandit trick, when they used to stand up on their bike and they'd stand up. You put your foot, like your one foot would be on the crossbar in front of you, and then your other foot would be behind the seat where your reflector would have been taken off, and you just basically slide down, hands up, you go down. That was just anyway.
Which is weird, because for me, I would have thought the weirdest thing you can do is dress like Nicole Kidman then.
Yeah, or have the hair, Yeah, but they're all wearing the same thing. They're all wearing the BMX get-up, man. And I always loved it.
She wasn't a method actor. She didn't do that at those stunts herself.
No, but I always did love the scene where they were coming down the water slide, and it was so obvious they took the pedals off the bike. All the pedals were off. The pedals were taken. The pedals were taken off the bike. That was so funny.
Yeah, the Bones Brigade is what I'm thinking of. I think that's what they were called, Bones Brigade, Skate or Die, and Carl Peralta.
Yeah.
I think there were a whole bunch of young people. I think even possibly Tony Hawk was involved with that sort of stuff.
So
and,
I
think they got fairly ripped off most of them.
Well, see, I thought that was the company. I thought that was the person he was sending it to. So anyway, look, let's move on very briefly. We've got. Look, we were talking about. I know I hijacked you earlier with that slight change of topic. With between.
That's okay, man. I'll deal with it.
But what I was thinking about was, I tend to get a lot of people coming in and seeing me at the shop, and the idea is that they want to get cigar box guitars. They want to kind of go busking. I want a cigar box guitar. I want to go busking, or I want to go and I want to take it on a campfire with me. That's the couple of people who've bought in the last couple of weeks have said, "Oh, look, we're going bush, and I just want to take a small guitar, so a cigar box guitar is kind of perfect."
Yep.
And I just want to go and go and sing some campfire songs with some mates, or the kids or whatever, and then just, keep it nice and easy. And I was thinking, well, what would be like a dream rig? What would be like a really cool rig? I don't know whether you'd had a chance to kind of have a think much about it, or what kind of guitars. What were you thinking?
Well, to be honest, I've never been a busker myself. I did have quite a few little practice amps.
Yeah.
Well, look, a three-stringer is the way to go. I would not go a slide. I would actually go a fretted guitar.
Yep.
And you can, maybe with a bit of high action. I've got a couple of, Roland cubes, which I love, the micro cubes. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, that's any builder out there. If you said, okay, well, and I'm not going to count stuff that we make or stuff that I sell. So I'm not going to promote anyone I sell. I'm not saying me. So I'm just going to say, like, who've you seen? Who's a builder that you went, oh, look, I could take that guitar. That'd be one.
Oh, man,
off the top of your
question. Head. There's so many guitars out there. There's a guy in the what's his name? Junkin Guitars from New Zealand.
Who is he?
I think his name's Richard Hyde. He makes some really nice guitars, man.
HIDE or HYDE?
Yeah. HIDE? I think that's his name.
Man, I'll check him out, because I reckon like New Zealand is untapped territory for us, man.
I agree, man.
Oh.
And once again, you think it's bad for us in shipping? They got it worse.
Oh, but I've had 4 orders in the last 2 months from New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
It's been great. It's like, I want more. Anyway, sorry. So what does he build?
A cigar box guitar, I've seen in particular, but I think he does other guitars as well.
Yeah.
I was just looking at one the other day, actually. I'm just trying to figure out if I can find something. I hope he doesn't mind. I'm sorry, Richard, if you mind.
Well, we're promoting him. It's a blatant promotion.
Unless he's trying to hide from the world.
Yes, it's true. No, I'm not in New Zealand. I'm in Patagonia.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think of what his actual cigar, his business name is called. For some reason, I thought it was Junkin Guitars.
Junkin, like I'm junking it.
Yeah.
Or junking it. I can't do it. I was going to do a Kiwi accent. You can't on that one.
Yeah, Junkin Guitars. Here it is. Is this it?
So, Junkin, Junkin?
No, JUNK.
Yeah.
Apostrophe N apostrophe guitars.
Oh, cool. New friends. There you go. We found new friends. Awesome.
I think that's him. It was some time ago he made a flying V type guitar, and I loved it. I was quite the fan.
Yeah, but would you take that on? Would you take that on a camp?
I think he's done a couple of solid body 3 strings too, so I could be wrong.
Okay, all right. So for me, I was just thinking. Well, first thing I thought was, would I take a PZO one, or would I take a magnetic pickup? Would I take magnetic fretless or fretted? And originally I was thinking fretless and slide, because I'm kind of thinking, I'm going through a slide renaissance at the moment. I'm playing a lot of slide again. But there is something to be said about having a fretted instrument if you can.
Yes.
I think if I was gonna have a fretless one, I think I'd definitely go for one of Nigel's. I saw that again. I saw one of Nigel's beautiful guitars again on Facebook just recently, I think a few days ago, and they always love them with the key. And I think he's just used the last of his Greek keys as well. He said, and there's that. And I just thought, because I'm just playing a lot of slide at the moment. Then I thought on top of that, what I'd probably end up taking would be something like a pig nose. Although just as a basic, very simple pig nose.
Oh, yeah. Pig nose is good.
Just, no effects, no nothing, just blatant. And I suppose the reason for that was I watched Crossroads recently too. So Ralph Macchio had his telly going through his pig nose. And of course it sounded about 15,000 times louder and bigger than it would normally. It's amazing how pig nose can sound like a Fender Twin.
Yeah, but not a Master Boogie.
No, no, absolutely not. All right, so that's kind of cool. Look, just on an outro, I just wanted to make a special mention of a couple of customers of mine. A little while ago, I had a family actually come into the shop one day, and they were looking for a cigar box guitar for their son. He'd never played before. I think he was about 11, and he ended up buying a fretless cigar box guitar with a magnetic pickup. And the family were really great. I think they had three kids, mum and dad, all came in, and he was trying the guitar, and he was playing some great stuff. But he obviously just started. Well, let me tell you, I've just gotten a video from the dad, Gary, who's his dad, of his young son Jack playing with his siblings. And I've got to tell you, they've got a little band called Hollow Point. They're based in Lithgow, I think around Lithgow. And this kid is playing AC/DC on it now. His sister, when they did their very first gig, his sister had only been playing drums for 4 weeks, right? And they did AC/DC. They were playing AC/DC songs, and the other sister was actually singing. And now I think they've got an older brother on bass. And I just wanted to say, for anyone who's ever kind of poo-pooed the idea of cigar box guitars, and because you do get people coming in looking at the guitars going, are they real, or you just hang them on the wall, and this kid, he is absolutely slamming. He's just playing so well, and it's all slide. He's playing slide cigar box guitar, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to Jack and his family. And I just think that they're absolutely brilliant out there, living the rock and roll dream. The mum and dad, Gary, and I apologise, I can't remember mum's name. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to write it down. But you'd never meet two more supportive parents in your life, just doing everything and anything they can to let their kids make noise. And my hat's off to them. So a big shout out to those guys out at Lithgow, Hollow Point. Hopefully we'll see them one day out there and playing the big centres. And you never know. This is the future of rock and roll. Looks pretty good when you look at these kids, mate. I'm telling you. I got a music shop, and the amount of kids that are coming in, and they're in their early teens or their late teens, and stuff they're playing. It's just. So whenever someone says, "Oh, there's no more rock and roll stars, there's no more guitar heroes," nah, that's not true. They're out there.
Absolutely, I agree.
Absolutely, mate. All right, so I suppose, look, top tip for the week. We're going to finish off with our top tips. My top tip is going to be, I'll come back to what we opened with. Look, don't be afraid of finding things that inspire you, finding things that really get you wanting to actually build something, whether it's a cigar box guitar or whatever it is. But take that thing and make it your own. Do something different with it. Take it further. It's the old cliche, but take it, and then take it further than where you found it. Don't copy, but do something really cool with someone's idea. Because that, I tell you what, there's nothing like when you see something and you think, I know I inspired that. Or like I said, when that guy contacted me, he said, "Oh, look at these beautiful guitars that I made." Because I bought a Lightning Boy guitar and I wanted to do something like that. But he didn't copy it. They weren't the same. But I saw what he'd kind of taken and he took it elsewhere. He took it and he did something different with it. And I loved that. I thought that was really, really, really cool. So please, guys, get out there and build, have fun, be inspired by other people, and then take it and do your own thing. What do you reckon, Mark?
I agree. But my top tip is a little bit different today. I think if you've got an idea, so even if it's something simple as a jig you've built to help you build more CBGs, then post it. Get everyone else into it. You make our lives easier, because not a lot of people out there can afford high-end tools or even crappy tools. And so if you can make someone else's life easier, do it. There's plenty of us out here who I would kill for a few more jig ideas, building ideas out there. Not the guitar themselves, but how you do it.
Yeah.
I think it's important to bring that along. Scrap of timber. A couple of my, I built a neck angle jig out of some not crap ply. Well, actually, it wasn't great, but some scrap ply, and it worked a treat.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, within weeks, I saw another person doing the same thing, and I thought, this is great. This is what I want, making life people easier. That's it.
Don't be afraid to share. I suppose I don't want to come across as Mr. Down and Mr. Oh, I'm all nasty. I'm not. This is just one situation. I gotta please let me put that caveat in for this. It's one situation that's happened in the last 6 years, but it really just ticked me off. It did, And it was like, oh.
You're allowed to feel that way.
And I'm happy to put ideas out there. I think the whole idea of doing the podcast was that I do want to share ideas, and I love sharing ideas. And, I've done a heap of videos on YouTube and stuff like that about, I don't ask for money or for anything or, whatever, but for any of that sort of stuff. But it's awesome. Like, it's awesome sharing. I remember back to the video that you did on, that time-lapse video that you did on shaping that neck. I've never seen a neck shaped and done in 3 minutes so quickly. I often get frustrated that I can't do it as fast.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't take that long in real life.
No. Well, that's hence the reason I have a table router now. So, that's it.
I still do it by hand.
Oh, you lunatic. You're a freaking lunatic. All right. Well, look, that's been episode 59. I do hope everyone's enjoyed it. Please, if you're not on the group, if this is the first time that you've listened to the show, thank you very much for listening. We do hope that you'll go and visit us over at the Cigar Box Guitar Builder group. There is a Cigar Box Guitar Builder YouTube channel. We also have the Birdwood Guitars YouTube channel as well. As you can also find me at birdwoodguitars.com. You can find Mark at
CBGemporium.com.
And that's it. That's fantastic place. Look, it's as I said, Mark and I, it's if anyone's endorsing the show, we're endorsed by Birdwood Guitars and CBG Emporium unofficially.
We are.
If anyone else wants to endorse us or sponsor the show, please get in contact with us. We're open to it. So
we are.
We don't have to, but it's nice to. And again, look, thank you very much for those people who've been listening to the show, who've supported the show, who comment on the show, who are following us. Who are following the podcast as well. If you know friends who you think might be interested, please share what we're doing. And if you have any questions or suggestions for future shows, please don't hesitate to contact us or leave some messages on the Facebook group. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
All right, Mark, I'll sign off and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Oh.